from Sunny Insights. Today I'm going to present or just give lecture on key arguments of liberalism in international relations. Last time, as you remember, we have seen realism and its standing point in international relations. What does it say and how it forward? Its own argument regarding the role of the state in the maintenance of international order for their own national interests and betterment. So today we are going to focus on key arguments of liberalism in international relations, which is the most and recent type of theory that has its own say in international relations and how states and other actors in the international system operates. So before diving to the deep, I just request you to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video so as to help us access this video. So thank you for your cooperation. Now let's dive in and then talk about the key arguments of liberalism. Let us start from the definition of liberalism. As you may know, liberalism is a school of thought in international relation which focuses or emphasizes on the importance of individual actors in the international relation and also the role of human right and international cooperation to bring about better and cooperative international environment. So this focuses on the role of the individuals, the importance, the role they play, the human right protection and maintenance, and also international cooperation. Um, Therefore, if liberalism is this kind of theory in terms of its international aspect and environment, then what are the key arguments of liberal theory that we have to put in mind so that we can understand how this international relation theory works? The first argument that this liberal theory of international relation forward is individual and human right. So these are the basic element that this liberalism emphasize on in terms of operation, in terms of action in this international system. They affirm that individuals have inherent right, and these rights are the basis for creation of just international relations. Without maintenance of these individuals' inherent right, it is impossible, according to them, to obtain or to realize the peaceful and just international relations. So they say we have to protect human rights and uphold democracy and also promote individual liberty, which are the basic and foundation for the creation of international relation, which is just an all inclusive. So they say there should be a global safeguarding of human right, democracy, individual rights, and also there should be fundamental principles that are expected to be implemented by actors, both state and non-state actors, and even individuals. So this is the argument. Individual rights are the base and foundation for just an all-inclusive international relation, according to them. And the second argument is they purport or they advocate the democratic peace theory, which says basically democracies are less likely to go to war with each other. That means they emphasize on the importance of peaceful way of resolving conflict. So in this aspect, it says democracy or promoting democracy and a culture of democracy is important because democracy advocates peaceful resolution of conflicts and also peaceful cooperation of uh, states in terms of achieving their national interests. So they say democracy has a role in influence or pacifying international relation. Without democracy, according to them, it is impossible to obtain peaceful international relation, which is a basic foundation for the peaceful international system. So they stress how the presence of democracy governance contributes to international stability because they start their argument that democracies are less likely to go to war with each other. Rather, they opt to solve their common problem in peaceful way. So peace in democracy is one of the main emphasis of these liberal theorists. The other one is the role of international institutions and cooperation in maintaining the desired peace and cooperation is an important role. So they emphasizes on international organizations like United Nations, WTO, and other international institutions for cooperation and resolving conflict among the state. As far as needs and interests are there, there is a possibility of conflict among every actors. So, in case this conflict happens or occurs, these liberal theorists argue that international organizations play a significant role to bring them together and resolve conflict. So, in order to do that, they have to just provide treaties and agreements, which are also an important uh, foundation for establishment of norms and rules that govern the behavior of state and also foster the orderly international system in which there could be cooperation, in which there could be peaceful interaction among states and actors. So they say we have to develop. So these international institutions have to develop norms and rules that guide the state behavior. So they say there should be shared norms and values that are important, or rules that are important, like, for example, justice, fairness, human right, and others, or so many values that should be shared among the state. So these would help state to function in a responsible way in its conduct of international relations. The other one is economic interdependence and globalization. They say uh, if there is economic interdependence, this is an input and a mechanism for creation of peaceful international system in which everyone is equally beneficial. So they argue that economic interdependence, and globalization create a mutual interest among states, which reduces the possibility of conflict among the states. They don't say conflict can be avoided. Rather, they say this kind of thing, establishment of economic interdependence and the expansion of globalization would result in reduction of possibility of conflict among the states. So they say this globalization could pull the states' interests together so that they can work for their mutual benefit or mutual interests. So this can help them to increase economic ties and can lead to a greater cooperation and shared benefit, which also foster more interconnected and peaceful world. So they say economic interdependence and globalization is an important element that the state has have to focus on to bring peaceful and cooperative international environment, which is beneficial to every state that need to have its own interest maintained. The first one is soft power and diplomacy. As you know, diplomacy is a peaceful way of resolving conflict by negotiation and dialogue. So, liberalists argue that soft power are important element of just maintaining international goals without resorting to military force. Because hard power, that is military power, is not a viable solution to bring cooperative international environment. Because history witnesses that there has been no issue that was just resolved through military conflict without causing damage. So in this case, They stress on soft power tools such as cultural influence, economic ties, and diplomacy, which are the means and tools to achieve international goals among the states. So, for that, they say negotiations and dialogues are crucial components of diplomacy, which also contribute to conflict resolution and create international understanding among the states. So, they say soft power and diplomacy are the best tools to achieve international goals and interests. They also say that rule of law and international legal frameworks are very important. So they argue that every state and every individual or actor should adhere to the rule of law at the international level, which is a basic and vital for maintenance of order and resolving disputes peacefully. If there is no rule of law, there could be no peace, there could be no order. So everyone, every state has to adhere to this body of international law as well as rule of law. So international law and legal institutions held by the states to common principles and agreements, which also help them to foster more cooperative and predictable global environment. So if the states are emphasizing on adhering to rules and legal institutions, they take responsibility for every action they do. So, legal mechanisms such as international law and international institutions provide avenues for resolving conflicts through established procedures and principles. For example, institutions like International Criminal Court, institutions like the United Nations, institutions like, for example, WTO in terms of trade conflict, institutions like IMF in terms of international financial institutions or financial cooperation issues. So, international law and as well as legal institutions, international institutions play a significant role in maintenance of peaceful international environment according to them. Uh, the seventh principle or argument they present is that optimism, they are very optimistic about international cooperation. They say international cooperation is possible. They are not pessimistic like realists. Realists don't believe that international cooperation is possible as far as human nature is concerned, which is selfish. So states are formed or framed on the basis of human interest, which is selfish in nature. But liberalists say there is a positive attitude that international cooperation is possible among human beings. So they say states have potential to collaborate and solve common problems through diplomatic means without resorting to military actions or military solutions. So they value the importance of shared values and interests, which is a powerful driver for international cooperation. So if there is interest, if there is culture, if there are values that they commonly commonly adhere to, then it is possible to bring international cooperation according to liberalists. So they are very optimistic that international cooperation among the states is possible because they have potential to do so. And the eighth one is humanitarian intervention. As you know, humanitarian issues are very critical in the modern times during wars and other catastrophic natural occurrences or happenings. They advocate that humanitarian intervention is very important because, in the first principle, we have seen they are very advocate of individual liberties and human rights. So they support military intervention for the sake of humanitarian purposes in terms of conflict. So they say they argue that the international community has a responsibility to protect individuals from gross human rights abuses during wars and natural disasters like flood, drought, earthquake, and so forth. So they say during military, during natural disasters, international communities have responsibility to protect individual rights and individuals from human right violation. There is also a responsibility to protect individuals from human rights abuses as a result of these occasions. So they say humanitarian intervention should be encouraged among actors or international community of states. So generally today we have seen eight key arguments of liberalism in terms of international relation and interstate interactions. So this is the end of today's presentation. If you have any question, you can put it in comment section and then request me to do some videos on those questions. Having said this, I just want to thank you for being with me and following me attentively. So I would like to remind you again to subscribe, like, share, and comment this video, and also recommend to your friends to help them access this video to get more insights. So if you're looking for a channel to gain more knowledge regarding this type of issues, this Sunny Insight is your choice. Make Sunny Insight your choice. Have a nice time.